my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching. We are now on our 6th month of me coming on here and saying, oh yeah, my previous month's wrap up is gonna come. I haven't uploaded a wrap up since November. I told y'all last month.
Look, I've already got my January to April wrap up filmed. It's gonna be one big video, it's gonna be fun, and no matter what, I'm gonna be uploading that soon.
And we all know that May was a rough month. So not only have I not had time to edit the January to April video, I haven't had time to film a May wrap up. Literally the day that I was gonna film my wrap up, the protests over the murder of George Floyd started. And obviously that took precedence. Obviously I put the filming on hold so that I could participate in the protests, and both of those videos, the January to April wrap up as well as my May wrap up, are both coming. I will post them. I will post them this month, okay? And I might even just put them together, I don't know. But I am celebrating Pride this month. For those of you who do not know, queer is the word that I use whenever somebody asks me what my sexuality is. It just fits, it just feels accurate for me. It just feels the most comfortable out of any label. It literally just means not heterosexual, and that's as specific as I want to get with my sexuality. I also do identify as being part of the ace spectrum, which I have never publicly said. And you probably already know that I am non-binary. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I came out as non-binary, I believe in 2012, and I came out as queer. I've been out as queer since 2010, and I just came out as ace, so yay! I've known that I'm ace for quite some time, but I'm very private about my ace identity, and it's really not something that I'm comfortable discussing with people. In terms of visibility, I just wanted to come on here and say that I am part of the ace community, and I'm very proud to be so. So because I do live in Minneapolis, and I'm keeping a close eye on the news, I'm not going to give myself too rough of a TBR this month because I want my main focus to be on what my community here in Minneapolis needs, as well as my own self-care. I have a lot of self-care and catching up to do. I'm already working under incredible amounts of stress, and so I don't want to add to that stress by creating this huge TBR. So for that reason, I'm only going to be rolling 1 dice this month instead of 2. If you are new here, welcome. This is my monthly video where I play Jessie's deck of TBR, which is a game that I created of what I'm calling to be read cards. Basically, I created a deck of multiple cards, and each card has an image as well as a reading prompt associated with that image. For example, this is the inclusivity card, and it tells me to read a book with a disabled protagonist. And these cards essentially are just a way for me to keep my reading fun and exciting, as well as to be mindful that I'm reading inclusively. Because everything has been insane, and honestly 2020 keeps getting worse and not better, I'm just gonna be rolling 1 dice. And also to save some time, I've just gone ahead and pulled all of the cards out of my deck that will allow me to pick a LGBTQ centric book for them. I have pulled all of my unread queer books from my shelf.
What are you doing?
I pulled all of my unread queer books from my shelves, and they are here, here, and these two. So I'm going to do my best to get to read these books this month, and I'm also doing a small TBR because I do have a secret video that I am filming, and I have to read like 4 books for that video too. Honestly, I'm super excited because these are all books that I really want to read and I want to get to. So let's roll the dice and see how many of these cards I get to pull. Okay, so of course you can't see it. What I've pulled here is a 3, so I'm going to pull 3 cards for Jessie's deck of TBR. I'm just gonna shuffle randomly and then pull out 3 of the cards. Okay, there you go. Let's pull from here, let's pull from here, and let's pull from here. Okay, I'm gonna set the first card. Alphabet Soup. Read a book that starts with the first letter of your name. And this prompt was given to me by Sophie of Sophisticated Books. Fuck, yes. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna pull Juliet Takes a Breath by my friend Gabi Rivera. I am so excited to finally be reading her book. Gabi is one of my good friends. She's absolutely hilarious. She's got this beautiful podcast called Joy Revolution where she just talks about being happy. I had the privilege of meeting her last year in 2018 and she signed this book, and I actually didn't realize that this included stickers, which is perfect because I get to put some stickers in my reading bullet journal for this book now. I'm so beyond excited. So this is about a young girl named Juliet. She is a Puerto Riqueña living in the Bronx, and she's new to being out and visible in the queer community. And in this book, she moves to Portland, Oregon temporarily in order to intern for her icon, who is a white feminist, and she starts to notice that her icon, this woman that she loves and looks up to so much, is very quiet and problematic in terms of issues of race. And so she's trying to figure out kind of what it means to be both Latinx and queer, and trying to navigate wanting solidarity with other women, but also not wanting to put up with white women's racist bullshit. And there's also a lot of joy in this book, true to Rivera form. There are gay dance parties, there's lots of queerness. It's a celebration of Puerto Rican identity, and I'm so excited to finally be reading her book. Okay, the next card that I have pulled is Fireplace. Pick a read that promises to be a cozy one. For this, I'm going to read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey Mcquillan, and I'm excited to finally be reading this because this was gifted to me by my good friend Capri of Capri's Book Island. Everybody and their mama was raving about this queer book last year. Essentially, it's about a member of the American elite fake dating a member of British royalty, and they actually fall in love, so it's a hilarious contemporary. It's also by a non-binary spectrum author, so I'm very excited to finally be reading this book. It's supposed to be incredibly funny. I'm excited to see if I actually think it's funny because usually comedy is a huge miss for me in books. We will see if this actually makes me crack a laugh or two. And I'm also excited to see if I enjoy this book because if you've been following me for a minute, you know that I usually hate hyped books.
So we're gonna see.
And the last card that I have here is the holy fuck. Yes, okay, the queer gods have smiled upon me. They are literally raining glitter down on me. Fuck yes, oh my god. This is the RuPaul card. Read a book with a drag queen main character or a non-traditional male main character. This is perfect. Okay, I know automatically the book that I'm gonna pick, and that is gonna be Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Dean Atta is a British Black queer author, and this book is about a young Black teen who comes out as queer, and he also becomes a drag queen. It's a book that I've been anticipating so heavily for over a year now, and I'm so glad it's out in the world, and I believe my friend Joe of Average Joe Reads recently sent it to me, so I actually have to check my mailbox.
Why did I say that word so strangely?
Check my mailbox and see if it's here or not. Now, I'm going to try my absolute best to read as many of these books as I possibly can. I also want to read Docile, which is a queer science fiction anthology about capitalism. The three books that I really want to make sure that I get through the most are The Color Purple by Alice Walker, How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones, and Officer Clemens.
Here you see me trying to figure out how to pronounce this author's name
By Dr. Francis.
and here you see me giving up.
I'm trying to prioritize books that focus on Blackness and queerness. That is something that's very important to me. The Color Purple was on my TBR for February, but I unfortunately wasn't able to get to it. And I know I said originally that if I failed to read a book on my TBR, that my TBR cards pulled for me, I was gonna have to double my cards in the future.
That died immediately.
Just because 2020 has been so stressful that it's a miracle I've been able to read anything at all. So these are some other books that I'm really hoping to get to. Officer Clemens is about a Black gay male actor who played an officer on the beloved TV show Mr. Rogers. Comment down below if you grew up watching Mr. Rogers like I did. This is basically his memoir about being the first African American to have a recurring role on a children's program, which is a huge deal. How We Fight for Our Lives is an epic poetic memoir from a Black queer activist. He's from the South, and I have heard absolutely nothing but just rave things about this book. Then we have The Color Purple by Alice Walker, which again was on my February TBR, and this is an epistolary novel where the protagonist starts by writing letters to God, and later she is writing letters to her sister who she was separated from as a child. It's an American classic, and I read this in high school, but I would love to reread it as an adult. Unfortunately, I had a teacher who wasn't skilled or qualified enough to unpack this book with the level of depth that it deserves, so I'm excited to get into an in-depth analysis now as an adult. Also for NB Book Club, the non-binary book club that I run, we are going to be reading All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson, which is probably my favorite book of the year, and I'm so excited to reread it. It is like the world's best book if you want to know what it's like to be gender non-conforming, if you want to know what it's like to be Black in America, if you want to know what it's like to be queer. It's incredibly well written, it's funny, it's full of love.
I failed to mention this in my video, but more importantly, this book is definitely written for Black folks and is speaking directly to the Black community. So there's a lot of unpacking of Black issues. It's not one of those books that is seeking to educate white people. It's a book full of Afrocentric history and cultural references, and as a Black person, when you read it, it honestly just feels like coming home.
It's a book I want everyone and their mama to read. It's so amazing, and Libro FM just put the audiobook on their platform, and I'm so excited to listen to the audiobook because George reads it. And we are also going to be reading, I cannot remember the name of this book right now, or the name of the author. Oh my gosh, I'm filming this at like 5 a.m. I haven't slept and I'm so tired, so just let me live. But it is science fiction by a non-binary author, and it's about time traveling lesbians. I will leave information for NB Book Club, the non-binary book club that I run, as well as the dates of discussion for both of those books. I'm so friggin' excited. I hope you're making sure that you are reading with ethnic diversity even as you are picking up your queer books this month, because newsflash, people of color can be queer too, especially dark-skinned people of color, Black people.
We out here, we queer.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it if you became a part of my Dapper family. All of my social media links are in the description box below. Stay safe, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.